forward. So this is a mustache bar, and I've marked that as left top, and this one I've marked as right top. So left side, right side. So as you can see, they've obviously just cut the angles accordingly, because obviously they've got a bit of a tight spot to squeeze into. Once again, they've all been gusseted. Obviously we painted them because they were rusty as sin. So that's those two. Alright, so rear cross member. So this is the back of the rear cross member. Driver's side, right hand side. So as you can see, they've got this extra plate here because that's where your fuel pump bracket sits into. So I'll just do a slow turn, obviously gusseted at the top again. Hopefully it's not too bright. Literally just welded up. Come down, turn it to the right. Actually, I'll do a 360 on the thing, just so you can see how they've done it in this case. And obviously use quite a heavy piece here and slightly heavier piece at the base as well. And then this one's obviously the mirror image of that one without the fuel pump bracket on the side of it. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of how this one's been done. Right, so that last one was the front of the cross member, sorry, where the fuel pump mounts. These are the rear side of the cross member. Again, left side, right side, and again you can see they've just tapered off this, and they've done two on this side. But as you're probably aware by now, these need to be offset down about, I don't know if it's a centimetre, 8mm, something like that, to match the little step down in the brackets. So just do a quick 360 so you can sort of see how they've done that. But they're pretty much identical, other than that tapered bit, obviously once again to clear everything else that needs to go there. Alright, so these are the 2-inch rear shocky top blocks, and I accidentally videoed the 3-inch first up. So if I don't put that video up, you'll know why. It's out of order. These are the 2-inch ones. As you can see, they're just bent. That's probably, whatever size that is, have to be a good 5-6 mil at a guess. It's quite thick, obviously. And they've obviously tapped threads into the actual steel too. So not the usual captive nut welded on the back. So other than that, yeah, pretty straightforward. Center tail shaft mounts, obviously pretty straightforward. Once again though, it has got gussets inside, so always helps out. Front, well, gearbox crossmember / suspension brackets. As you can see, they've just welded once again 3 little tubes on top of the standard plate. Still got the handbrake cable brackets, which I don't even know if they're used, or that one's got 2, so couldn't even tell you which side's which, but obviously they're specific. But I'll probably let you know if they get used. But that's those suckers. Engine crossmember, probably the most straightforward one, as you're aware. Obviously gusseted both ends, but pretty straightforward, these ones, compared to the others anyway. Good stuff. And last of all, I think, front strut tops, of course. They actually were marked passengers front with an arrow facing the way my finger is, that obviously being the front. Passenger side, and then drivers, same thing, drivers front, arrow that way. So obviously if I go side on, I'll just get those bolt holes. So the bolt holes are actually in the same position on that back bolt, or looking side on I should say is the best way to put it. The holes are in the same spot. tilt this up that way, same spot. Obviously though, when you're looking at it from back to front, there's I was going to say there's a slight offset, but that one almost looks the same. That one looks offset a little. Let's flip it right over. Yeah, and that one's definitely offset as well, if that makes sense. And same with this one. This is drivers. I just tilt it up, sort of see the next hole's offset. Probably about 5-7 to the left compared to the bolt. Back one to the outside. Again, about the same. It's a little interesting because that actually looks a little bit different too. A bit to the left, but I'm sure you get the idea. Obviously, steering extension. So, obviously has 2 lock bolts coming in from this side. If you can see in there, so you've got the shaft only goes halfway through. So that sits, in this case anyway, this sits on the base of your steering shaft coming out of your power steering, and then the normal L Series fitting comes in and on the top and bolts into there, so effectively giving you that much extra distance. But yeah, obviously one of the more important bits, dare I say it. So it's almost like that's a shaft that's been pressed in halfway through. There you go. Alright, so obviously just underneath the car, lift kit's all fitted. I'll just sneak in here. Now the only thing I've done, it's been about 15 years since I did one of these, is this brake line to the back is quite tight. If you don't know anything about it. So generally this whole red bracket up here, you can actually leave that whole bracket downward, or towards the back I suppose, of the car, and it just gives, like, that's at full extension now obviously, and there's still some flex in it. So that was one thing that I'd done on both sides, just pried that bracket down a bit. And the second thing was too, the fuel line mounting, probably not going to focus, off the rear crossmember bar. I did extend that up, as you can see, about 25-30 mil, just a bracket I had lying around. It would bolt back in, but I just felt more secure having it up back where it was. Basically, it's not putting it under any tension then, especially being the main fuel line. You don't want it you go straight to the fuel pump, so you don't really want to have that one under any tension. So they were the 3 little extra things down the back end, aside from just fitting the lift kit, that I come across. Alrighty.